Oh, it's just making sure I had my mic on. Already starting out with computer issues, so that's great. My computer crashed about 45 minutes ago. Oh no, about 50 hours. Not 50 hours, 50 minutes ago. But I wasn't going to let that stop me from streaming. I am going to send it back in again tomorrow. Hopefully they can figure out what the actual problem is, because this time it was just, as far as the Windows event log and stuff like that goes, just due to sudden power loss. So I think it might be a battery problem again, which might have always been the problem. I might have put another faulty fucking battery in it. Of course, it might just be that model of battery that has that problem. You never know. They work fine for a little bit, and then they stop working after a certain amount of time. It's almost like they were built to be replaced. Let's just hope it lasts, because it's completely fucking random. It hadn't crashed in like 2 to 3 weeks, at least. Sorry, a friend invited me to Oh, I was already in a party. Hey, man.
Ooh, how's it going?
Not bad. Just having the same issues I was having like a month ago with my computer.
What sort of issues are those?
When it crashes, it can't boot properly due to some like power. Because when I checked the Windows event log, because I just had tried this on my stream, when I checked the Windows event log, it said it couldn't do something in the kernel due to power loss, so it didn't reboot properly.
That's curious. It's a Windows 10 computer, yeah?
Yeah.
Have you by chance downloaded the Windows Update tool?
No.
Okay, well if you do that, yeah, go to like the Microsoft, no actually just go to like Bing or Google or whatever and type in Windows Update tool or whatever.
I'm streaming Nioh right now, so I can't really do that.
It's all good. Well, whenever you get time. It's a little installer, and all it's going to do is it's going to scan your Windows 10, and it's going to check to see that your license is authentic. It's going to check to see what build you're running, and then it's going to go online and it's going to see if there is a newer build available for you. And if there's a newer build, it's going to download the build and auto-install it for you. And
how do you know that that would be the problem?
Well, they wouldn't release new builds if they weren't fixing problems, right? So the latest build would have less problems and more stability.
Yeah, but my friend also had yeah, again, you don't really call gaming laptops, but he had a laptop that was built with higher than normal processing power, and his hasn't crashed once, and he just uses the normal, he just lets it update as it goes.
This is true, but I don't know what to tell you. It could be that he might have a later build than you right off the bat. It could be a driver issue. It could be multiple things. But generally, the best way to fix it, in my opinion, would be do a clean boot and then do a build check. And if you don't have the latest build, then get it and see if it resolves the problem, because I think about 90% of the time it does. I was trying to do it on Chili Man's computer though once, and I think he has like some sort of really crazy virus that wasn't going to allow him to update to the latest build, like no matter what. It was just really strange. I mean, it downloaded one of the latest builds, and then like the tool said that there was an even further latest build, and that wouldn't upgrade to that one because of some reason or another. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I think it's because his computer is like a really like, yeah, it's not super new. Let's just put it that way. It's probably like second generation i5 or something. Maybe a Pentium. I don't remember exactly what it was. It's been a couple of months. But I just got a keyboard today, so whenever you get some free time and you're not streaming or whatever, if you want to do like a remote access thing, I wouldn't mind taking a peek, seeing what's going on. Trying to find a little, like, I would love a guitar pick. That would be optimal right now. I've got a nice little grinder full of teeth here, and no way to get it out. The only herb at the moment that I have too. So I'm just like, It's fine to talk about that on Nioh, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not planning on monetizing these anyways, so.
Alright. Yeah, it's hella funny, because currently on my YouTube channel, the only thing that has, like, any real views is that stupid, Worms Battlefields, because I streamed a couple games, and, that was last week, and it has 40 views, and I've streamed Destiny before, and no one gave a damn about that one.
That's because I think there's so many people streaming it.
True. There's probably tens of, maybe even almost 100, I don't know. Go ahead and show this guy a little trick. I was thinking
it might be a hardware problem.
Like I said, it could be a compatibility issue, but if there's a latest build that you don't have, then it would probably fix the issue.
What was the kernel power problem? I don't think it would help for that.
It might, because it's a, you know, I imagine that they're updating the Windows NT kernel with their builds. I mean, Linux does, so why wouldn't Windows update their NT once in a while?
Yeah, I just always seem to get really unlucky when it comes to computers and stuff like that. And just with the mixture of stuff that I happen to get. Mostly just because I guess I don't pick good things.
What brand is the laptop?
It's an HP.
Okay, HP's not too bad. Not too shabby.
It has 12 gigs of RAM and like a 3.5 gigahertz processor.
Right
Play
on.
pretty high quality games and stuff like that on it.
Does it have AMD processor?
No, Intel.
Oh, okay.
Intel Core i5. It's not very...
Is it standalone graphics, or is it integrated?
I don't actually know, to be honest.
Okay.
I think it might be integrated.
Hell yeah.
It's a HD Graphics 520. Intel R HD Graphics 520. You can probably look that up faster than I would be able to. So.
Probably, yeah.
Sounds like it would be integrated.
Yeah, it sounds integrated to me.
Has a lot of RAM though for a laptop.
True that. That's their selling point right there. Generally what happens is they're like, oh, don't get that i7, get that extra RAM. They always try to get you with that extra RAM.
I just got it because it was really cheap.
Hell yeah.
It was on like a 65 or 60% discount or something like that last year.
That's what's up. What did it set you back?
I think it was $275 or something like that.
Oh yeah, I can't even complain about that for sure.
It's cheaper than the PlayStation 4. Or at least when I got my PlayStation 4 new, anyways.
Yeah. Those PlayStations are cheap as fuck now.
The stock ones are, anyways.
Yeah, true that. Then just go ahead and get yourself a little hard drive upgrade. You're good to go. All about that SSD. What you know about that SSD? SSD. Telling you. Like that's the main bottleneck of all computers, is just having a regular hard drive. Once you swap to SSD power, never go back.
Yeah, but aren't SSDs more prone to being overused when you do stuff like constant video work and stuff?
Nope.
Well, don't
no, mine's
don't the
mine's
memory,
supposed to
like blocks get worn out after a while?
I can't say that they do. I mean, they do, but it takes a long fucking time.
Yeah, but I mean, people who do video stuff nowadays go through hundreds of gigs of footage.
Yeah, I've written on my thing alone. It said 6 petabytes read and write so far, or more.
Jesus.
And yeah, and it's got still plenty to go. So they have a little
running that much through my hard drive. Well, not a hard drive, but just through any storage thing in general.
Well, keep in mind that it's a 250 gig one, so I'm just constantly reading and writing to it. It's just like an infinite cycle of things that I do, because I'll take a like a disk, and I'll decrypt it, and then I will extract the video stream as an NKV, and then I will further process the codecs from the NKV into an MP4, and that can take, you know, a while. Just the two processes at the beginning alone, that's probably 12 gigs per movie, and then afterwards it's what's it called? After I take the movie down, it starts off as a 4 gigabyte movie, or 4 to 6 gigabytes in its raw form, and I bring it down to about 800 megs, and I upload it for people to download. Come on, jump, bitch, jump, no! Bitch.
My keyfall's not working half the time, is it?
So considering that's your your third playthrough, just imagine that by the end of it, you're gonna be like a 900 or some shit like that.
Oh no, I'm already at that level.
Oh, okay. I am gonna escape and go take a quick pee. Be right back.
Yep. Damn it. Anything good tonight in terms of drops? Nah.
I just hate it when you have a song stuck in your head.
What do you mean?
Oh, man. I'm just having a song stuck in your head, you know? It's just like, cheesy. I've got this song, what is that song? It's like, I'm not sick, but I'm not well. And I'm so high, 'cause I'm in hell.
I have no idea
Remember
what
that
song
one?
you're talking about.
You've never heard of that song?
Nope.
No. It's probably before your time.
You're not that much older than
Probably.
me.
Huh?
If you are even older than me.
I'm an ancient man. Ancient. Old. Guess how old.
100. million
You're
years.
getting close. Oh, shit. You're very close. Let's see here. Where's the ship? Come on.
Got her. Oh my god. She's a tough one.
Boo. Boo, teammates. Boo. Oi, oi, oi.
Excuse me.
That's all good. Need a, what's it called? Guitar pick. Very handy. More pieces of magazine. Sounds good.
Dang it, I went right into his arms.
It's not good.
Went right, well, not his arms, his legs, I should say. I didn't jump at all either. I just said that because I used to attack that makes your character foot. Jin isn't that bad for me, Vasan. It's always, the worst for me has always been Maria. What are you watching over there?
Oh, it's Destiny.
I was gonna say.
Trying to help. Yeah, I'm trying to help my buddy out with a campaign. Doing a second character or whatever.
Shima Sakon's upgraded form, the Mysterious Samurai form, I think is actually relatively easy. You just need to use a single katana to make it easy. Also, could you turn that down just a little bit? If my mic is echoing my game audio, let me know, please, because I don't want it to be picked up on my stream.
That's my bad.
No, it's fine.
It wasn't too bad, was it?
No. Also, how did I die there? I thought they aren't supposed to be able to kill you when you're... talking to the Kodama. It can be. I know what you're talking about, but... I just used a single katana on him and just kick him until he's out of key, because he has terrible tracking. He's one of the few bosses that are human that do have terrible tracking. think they just need to tone down the speed a little bit. Damn it. He's gonna kill me. Oh my god, he's gonna hit me. Now I'm dead. Yep. Spam pokes. There we go. Just had to get him in the rotation. Almost got poked to death.
This guy. Oh my god. These fucking guys. They don't know how to press a button. Unbelievable.
Ooh.
These people
Why
are
that?
trying to, like, ridiculous.
Yeah, I can add you to the party if you want to. Sorry I didn't see the message. I was trying to focus on the gameplay, so I didn't get fucking stuck. No! They're throwing shit circles. Alright, I'll add you after this little bit of loading here. Oh wait, I can't add you to the party because my friend is the one who... Yep. No, it's fine. I just suggested him.
Alright.
my god. Stop. Got him. Got him. Whew. Did you have a microphone, man?
There. How's it going?
Hello.
I'm just hanging in there. Chilling. Pretty much, man. Very much. That's a polite way to say it.
Going down. I said with net neutrality going down. I mean, it might as well be.
Oh yeah. We're all just hanging on by a thread in the end.
I'm on 233 right now, I think. Oh no, it's in the plus 60s. Yeah, the scaling of the late game ones is when it slows down. Then it takes like 30 levels for it to change one level. But early game, you get up to like, I think it's once you get around 85 is when it starts to slow down. And that's when it takes like a long time. Yeah, you don't necessarily need 100% elemental build. I just do it because it's the lazy man's way to avoid elemental damage. Yeah, but well, it's sort of, I guess it's weird to say that the game is like expected of you to have like paid attention, not necessarily in like the negative manner. I just mean like the game expects you at this point to know about those damage reduction types, and like having accessories and paying attention to which accessories are good means a lot more now, especially because if you get an accessory that's a good early game in like Way of the Strong, it doesn't become useless anymore in the later difficulties because you can just defile it. Well, yeah, but I mean, I still saved anything that I thought was good. I still saved it because it's not necessarily that I had hope. I had just thought that eventually they would add a system like that. I just thought they didn't do it initially because it would have been too easy to get perfect stuff and people wouldn't have stuck around. I don't know why they keep putting Hino Enma in as a boss. Well, that doesn't affect your draw strike speed. It's just about how you... No, I know. No, I know, but that isn't changed by dexterity anymore. I'm pretty sure. He's probably using that for paralysis. I'd have to imagine. Well, no, I mean on other enemies, not Jin himself. Because, I mean, the draw strike, the fastest way to put away your weapons is just to pull out your ranged weapon. But that's if you don't care about getting the key pulse to get key back, because that'll drain your key faster. Because tapping ranged weapon after you do it will instantly put away. It's the same thing with just tapping key pulse in R1 circle, but the ranged weapon one works even if you haven't key pulsed, so if your weapons are just out or you fucked up your draw strike on accident, it doesn't matter as much. Whoops. Yeah, that's what I do. You mean single or double? You mean single or double? Yeah, because the dual katanas work differently than the singles. The dual katana only has to be charged down long enough for you to get the extended bonus. You don't have to press and hold fully. You can let go just as you're... Because if you look at the animation, I don't know if you're still watching my stream or not, but if you look at the animation, there's like a brief second where your weapons turn blue, and if you release at that point, no matter what, you will go really fast with it. It's just all about the timing. It just takes a lot of practice getting the timing down, and then a lot of it's also repositioning, which it's just a combined thing. It takes a lot of practice to get down. Oh yeah. I use... If you had a... Again, I didn't know if you closed out of my stream, but I had Jin on my stream, and I beat him first try. Oh, yeah, I understand. But, sorry, someone left. The best recommendation I have for a dual sword build is it depends on what you're trying to go for in the dual sword build. If you want to just do Sign of the Cross, which is pretty much one of the only things you can do with dual swords for high damage, then you're gonna want Master Swordsman to some extent. But you don't need Master Swordsman by any means. I can hit 130k with my single sword. No, I know. But those are hyper-specialized glass cannon builds, pretty much. Most of them have to sacrifice so much defense to be able to get that offense. I just hit him for double 30k. But again, I'm not built for them. I don't have 200 skill. I don't have 200 strength. I do have 200 heart, which is one of their scalings, but it's one of the lower scalings for them. The best dual sword setup is also on Nioh magic based as well, because dual swords apply status ailments the fastest out of any weapon. Them and the tonfas. The tonfas are also really fast at applying status effects. If you want to actually do a poison build, I don't know why you would want to, since it got nerfed, but if you actually wanted to do a poison build, you want to do it with the dual swords or the tonfa. You just have to get the whatever it's called, the coiled snake kabuto that you get from the defiled the defiled castle mission. With there's a revenant that's in the middle of the room with all the shit buckets on the shelves, and you gotta kill that revenant. And he's wearing a unique helm which gives you post-combat damage when an enemy is paralyzed. Or post-combat damage when an enemy is poisoned. So it's like the Hino Enma Kabuto, but for poison. Also, sorry for talking over you. You can continue with what you were saying, because I can't remember. No, that was,
Indeedy. Oh, shit. Ah, it's delicious fish.
oh my word, he actually hit me. Peace out, Gama Ninja. Oh, let's just go stealth mode. Yokis. Yeah. No, they're tough. They're what the dual swords are also really good for. The dual swords are good for pretty much everything in the game. I mean, they're my crutch weapon. Whenever I can't beat something, I normally either crutch to the dual swords or to the axe, because they're what I became the best at using. I mean, I use all the weapons in the game. I just find those weapons the easiest to do good with. The axe is literally just a one skill weapon. You just find an axe with skill damage, titanic strength, or bear's bane, and then just spam those and win game. That's how it used to be with the dual swords, is you just got skill damage on your dual swords and then just spammed the spin attack. But they nerfed that into the ground. Now it only does good damage if you have close combat attack increase on your armor. That stat is very vital to consecutive hit builds. See, I think this guy is way worse than what's his name? Shima Sakon. Sonata Yukimura. Well, I just mean it's annoying to get to him. I wish you could parry their living weapon forms. Well, you used to be able to parry Odachi living weapon, but they patched that. I know, because I got parried in PvP quite a few times by people, because I used to use the Odachi. I used the Odachi in dual swords. I think that is how I found out about the swap draw strike thing. That I always tell people about now, how you can do the weapon swap attack, but you can also just do a draw strike swap, where if you just press the draw strike button and the swap, you can even do it from weapons that don't have draw strikes. So if you like attack with the axe, and then key pulse and weapon swap by holding the draw strike button, you can key pulse into a draw strike for the dual swords. I don't use it that much, only in certain situations, but the thing you should be complaining about in late game Nioh is just how damage resistant enemies are. If you don't have ridiculous multipliers, enemies can just basically absorb half of your damage. If not more. They absorb like a good 60 to 75% of your damage most of the time. Especially in Way of the Nioh. I don't mind that as much. Yeah, but Dark Souls doesn't deal with the same kind of multipliers this game does. This game does more of actual RPG style of damage multiplier, whereas Dark Souls does its own bullshit crap that barely functions and doesn't even deserve to be in the game, because it only suffers to make the game worse. Dark Souls had no leveling up in it, and you just had a set amount of health, and things just did a set amount of damage. I think the game would be a lot more tolerable for a lot of people, especially, and I only say that being a fan of the games, because I love Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls, but they're never gonna make games like that again. And if they're gonna continue making Souls games, they might as well just take the RPG aspect away, because Dark Souls 3 was barely an RPG. 90% of the mechanics didn't work properly, and when they did work properly, it was only because of a PvP balance change. It wasn't because the game needed it, it was because PvP whine-asses needed it. And that is the absolute destroyer of those games for me. I can't stand that garbage. It's just like the same thing with Bloodborne. Instead of making people have this bullshit HP bar which fluctuates on your character because you have this idea of leveling up. How about you just have stat investments that are just like, if you want to use weapon A, you invest into that. If you want to have health, you invest into that. But actually leveling up is just ridiculous because it does nothing. Well, you can't upgrade your armor either. The other games, you could upgrade your armor. Yeah, it was in 2 and 1 and Demon Souls, you could upgrade your armor. Actually, I don't even remember if you could upgrade armor in Demon Souls. Upgrading your armor? No, it's just you very rarely got enough Titanite shards to justify it. Because this is another one of my mini Dark Souls complaints. The game puts a plethora of weapons on it, but expects you to save on upgrading your weapon until you're about halfway through the game, until you have like 30 different weapons to choose from, but by that point you'll realize that half of the weapons you pick up are just clones of each other with different stats. It's like, and this is, again, one of my main gripes about Dark Souls. Why would I use the short sword instead of the long sword if the long sword has a bigger hitbox, more durability, does more damage, and has better scaling? Why would I ever use the short sword besides just to use a weaker long sword? And that's the problem, is because the games are designed partially around PvP, they can't make gameplay balance changes that would actually change weapons. Like, I don't know, make the short sword attack 0.15 times faster or something. Just make it worth having the less stats. It just irritates the fuck out of me how there are just so many inferior weapons that people say just adds variety, but no one uses them, so you can't justify that. And even in Nioh, you're gonna use a Bizen Tachi in one point in your gameplay. But you're never gonna fucking use the short sword outside of the start of the game, unless you're doing some specific level 1 speed run that has really restricted stat requirements on your weapons. Yeah, but that's just tedium learning. I mean, that's because those games are over-designed, and like I was just saying, they're not RPGs because they're over-balanced around the idea of everything being able to... You press the circle button and it all magically goes away. All you need to do is learn when to press that circle button and you're fine. And it just... That's not RPG to me. RPG is not pressing a circle button at the appropriate time because your HP and doesn't matter or anything like that. To me, the only thing that says is that the game has a really extremely fucked up progress system that is near meaningless and just defeats the purpose of having a meaningful experience in your game with legitimate difficulty. Because, and it's like I tell most people, the only people who call Dark Souls hard are the people who started gaming on Xbox 360. No. I mean, Dark Souls was released on PC, but that was way after it had came out. Oh my fucking god. Yeah, Demon Souls was. Demon Souls is still just PS3 exclusive. But Dark Souls was 360 and PlayStation 3. And then about a year after, they came out with the Prepare to Die edition on PC, which came with the Artorias of the Abyss DLC, which is where the bullshit started. It's where it all went downhill. And then everything changed when the fucking spam attacks attacked. I was trying to come up with a stupid Avatar reference. When everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. I don't know, I personally dislike the way that Dark Souls turned in. And again, if they just took out the RPG and was just like, here's a sword, here's an upgrade material you can buy with money that you can get in-game. Buy upgrade material, get different weapon. Don't copy and paste 40 weapons in the same weapon type, with only 3 of them being usable. Don't fucking do a Dark Souls. Doing a Dark Souls will do your game into a shithole. I mean, if you like the idea of perfectly rolling everything in a high-tense action game, then play Dark Souls 3 Soul Level 1. And, I mean, yeah, some people probably get their kicks from playing that. I just can't stand it. I like having options in my video game. And having an... Oh, go reset your skill build, so to wear 60 vitality and a bunch of other stuff, only to have damage resistance resist a quarter of an attack more. And it's like, okay, thanks. I totally didn't waste my fucking time doing that. I tried to do a tank build in Dark Souls 3 when it first came out. Exactly. You can't even get fast roll. If you wear full Havels with the Dragon's Tooth, the Great Shield, all of his armor and everything, you have to use Havel's Ring and everything else, and I think have your vitality at max, and I think you can fast roll with it, but it's so much stat dedication just to be able to wear it, and again, it doesn't increase your defense by much. The thing that increases your defense the most out of anything in the game is actually just the Ring of Steel Protection +3 that you get in the fucking DLC, which, mind you, another very, very dumb thing. Why do the stupid upgrade... That is one of the reasons I hated Dark Souls 2, was... the asinine, go back to this area where the items are slightly changed in this higher difficulty, and find this pre-upgraded ring to get your fucking trophy, dumbass. Enjoy. I don't like giving From Software shit, because people are gonna come to my streams or my videos and be like, this guy's a fucking douchebag, look at what he said about Dark Souls. And it's just like, come on, man, you can't honestly sit there and think the design decisions in Dark Souls 3 were good. Like, at least 70% of what they changed about the games is terrible. And I think most people agree that Dark Souls 1 was set up the best way. No, they use the same engine. They use the same core, is the best way to put it. But they change elements of that core. For example, in Demon Souls, instead of the running and jumping mechanic, you had a climbing mechanic, which would let you step over some knee-high ledges. There was even a place in one of the levels, which was called the Valley of Defilement, where you had to climb up, like, one of the only ways to get out was to climb up a cliffside doing that cliff climbing mechanic, and then they never used it in any of the other games. Even though it wasn't a negative thing, the programming was pretty much already there, because it's all the same game engine. It's the Fire engine, but they used, starting with Dark Souls 2, 3, and Bloodborne, they used an upgraded version of that engine, called the Fire engine, Phyre. It's I don't care. I'm sick of people just calling games Souls games. I hate. No, they have. No, it's called Souls-like. When a game is Souls-like. Nioh, if you go to most Souls YouTubers, they all say that Nioh is Souls-like. It has. No, but that was a reviewer who said that. No, that was one reviewer who said that one off, and then the internet started recycling it as a meme because of how dumb it was. Even people thought he was fucking retarded. But it's like, that's what I was saying though, how, like, if motherfuckers think dying is something unique to Souls, bitches didn't play PS2 games or bitch, please stop playing Call of Duty Black Ops as your first video game. Or Devil May Cry, like DMC3, or the first one. How did it warrant a sequel? How did this gameplay get a sequel? When I go back and see that. Did you ever play the original Onimusha on Xbox and stuff like that? Well, actually, I think the original Onimusha was on PS2. There was 2 and 3 on Xbox, and then there was 4. 3 and 4 were alright, but if you try and go back and play them now, the controls just seem fucked up and broken. Hold on 1 second though, I need to go to the bathroom. Alright, I'm back. I live in a trailer, so I didn't need to actually go to the bathroom. I just had something in my eye. You just play Claw. You just play Claw. Oh my word. Nothing. I just got fucking air comboed. Yeah, I got hit in the air by one of the multi-arm guy's projectiles, and then the cloth girl hit me as I was falling down in the air, so it juggled me. Because I was trying to fall down one of the holes. Good RNG. It's all just RNG in the end. With these kinds of enemies, though. Oh, here's Jin again. Oh yeah. No, there's more than it's like 15 to 30 seconds. I don't break his guard as quick as that guy does in the video, but I'm also at like 230 in the Abyss. And I got a really bad start on him. God damn it. Well, I don't think it's Team Ninja, personally. I think it's Koei Tecmo, their publisher. Because only a publisher would make as drastic of a decision as removing entire game mechanics. Like, oh, this thing that's been in the game since launch, like critical living weapon. Oh yeah, we're just removing that and making like 3 sets. Well, no, they just made it stop working when you're in living weapon with critical. It still works. It still works when you do critical normally. You just can't be in living weapon. The second you activate your living weapon, the critical effects go away. It literally defeats the purpose of Saoirse. Because that's literally Saoirse's entire guardian spirit is based around being in critical and constantly refreshing it with the guardian spirit attack, giving you the extraction talisman and the Pleiades talisman. Nope, not anymore. Not like you would want to. Saoirse wasn't a good... It wouldn't be as bad if they didn't make bosses that were 100% resistant to things. Well, that, again, that doesn't matter to me. The only ones that I get bothered by having ridiculous movement speed are Date Masamune. He is fucking ridiculous. He, no matter how much running speed, you could have Tiger Running Scroll, A Agility, and he'd still... Oh, funny I mentioned that, because guess who I'm fighting now? Yeah. That works when he doesn't gain the faster recovery speed that he has in the higher difficulties. Really? I'm pretty sure Masamune recovers faster than Jin. Maria recovers the fastest out of any character. I can chain draw strike Jin. I can't do it to Date. Not in the difficulty I'm at anymore. I'm at 320 something in the Abyss, and that does not work anymore. I have tried it a bunch of times with him. He just gets up and double dashes backwards, and then you can't possibly connect with him on the next one. Oh no, they just have built in so many anti-punishment into the bosses. It's one of the reasons why the Whirlwind build works still. Not because it's good, just because bosses don't stay on the ground long. The problem used to be with the Whirlwind build is that you'd knock a human boss out of key and they'd just stay on the ground for 5 to 6 seconds, and you'd just be sitting there whirlwinding because you couldn't hit them when they were on the ground with the whirlwind. So now when the bosses sit back up faster, it's actually easier to do it. It's just most of the bosses take Amrita away from you, and so you have to time it just right. I don't know, personally I think Team Ninja has been done developing this since the third DLC was released, and I think they handed it over to a team of a small team to just work on it for now. Oh yeah, they're definitely done. Well, they're definitely done adding more like big term content. They might add a couple more patches, but I have a feeling most of them will be PC based. I just hit that guy for double 50k, and that was only with a single weakness applied. If I had thrown a Riken out at him and lowered his defense with the pants effect, then he would have been. I probably would have hit for over 60k per each one. No, I just used the Guardian Spirit Talismans with Riken to apply the lightning. Oops, I just accidentally left the Abyss. Well, I'll go empty my inventory real quick and hop back in it. Not the first time I've done that. Oops. Another AA minus increase damage when enemies defeated critical. And I just sold it. That used to be something people would farm for ages to try and find something good with that on it. Not anymore. People on PC will never get to experience that until they decide to mod it and turn it back on. Oh, I guarantee people will mod Nioh. People mod every game now. It's just a matter of figuring out how to change the code without impacting the game. Once people figure out how to do that, then they'll add shit. They'll change shit around. Either way, you can already save edit stuff, so. Unpatch the Ega skip. Yeah, but if you tried to level up past it, it would still ask you to do it, unless they just kept that in. If they just changed that, then it would be too easy, because the entire game has been balanced around you not having to farm like that anymore. Now it doesn't take that much farming to get the 750. Now it's as easy as just run any way the Nioh level with Suzaku for an hour or two and you'll be at 750. I was 750 before I entered the Abyss, so. Yeah, but when you get to the what's called the focus level system, the focus level system is a fixed cost. It doesn't go up each time. Mm-hmm. What do you mean for the focus levels? No, focus level is attack, life, defense, and luck. Have what I was looking for on it. Oops. Yeah, I just have so much excess Emerita now. I've debated, like, using my Silibart ingot and just dying twice just to get rid of all my Emerita. I don't even want it anymore. Mm-hmm. But it honestly just doesn't cost that much to defile when you have over 100 billion Emerita. That's what I was talking about earlier, though, about how if they made elemental damage have more of an impact, because the problem is that it's not that elemental damage isn't good, it's that dealing a lot of elemental damage to late game enemies is nearly fucking impossible, because they have innate damage resistance to it. It's the reason why dual swords are one of the like wettest noodling hitting weapons, without having like a sign of the cross specialized build, because it's split damage. It has to go through damage resistance twice instead of once, so you're always getting more. You're technically, when you're using dual swords, you're getting like 50% more resisted than you would by using a single sword. Because a single sword just gets resisted down to, like, say if you hit for 4,000 a hit, it's getting resisted down to like 2,000 or whatever at this difficulty. But with the dual swords in low stance, I hit for hundreds. I literally hit for hundreds of damage from the front with my low stance. 700 and 384, so a combined damage of 1,000 in low stance, because of how much damage resistance he has. Because it's not like my weapon just hits that low, it's just that it's being resisted so much, and then it's being split in half. So, the amount of resistance that's actually applied to it is so much greater. It's so dumb. I really wish they wouldn't design split damage weapons like that. I wish they would make their damage count as the same. How am I doing this? I just need to clear these areas out. Damn it. Like, a lot of people always come to me asking for build recommendations or ways to build their character, and it's like, I couldn't tell you how to build a specific high damage build. I know a lot about the game, and I know like which armor sets you could combine to try and do that, but actually getting max potential out of your build is something that I'm not the best at. It's why I settle for my everyman's build. My jack of all trades, master of none, but sometimes better than a master of one. If you didn't know how that full phrase goes, because most people just say the first 3/4 of it. And there goes half of my buffs. Even though I didn't take any damage from the wheel hitting me with his fire breath, it still debuffed me and took my buffs away. Great. Cherry Blossom hits really hard as well. I wish there was a skill damage for it. Nope, not on dual swords. There's Raijin, Mortal Flow, Sign of the Cross, and Morning Moon. Or not Morning Moon, sorry. What the hell is it called? Yeah, Moon Shadow. There we go. Moon Shadow, Raijin, Mortal Flow, and Sign of the Cross. Those are the four skills that can have skill damage on them. For dual swords. You can't get God of Wind. Oh, you can't even get the parry damage bonus. I would like if the Shrike had a damage bonus skill. I would have a set just for parrying if that was the case. I just use Sign of the Cross dual swords that have no element on them. That have skill damage and skill break. Skill break is obviously for fighting people like Jin. Oh shit. Key damage is only when you hit an enemy when they're not guarding. If you didn't know that. Yeah, that's how key damage works in this game. Key damage is what you deal to the person when you hit them with actual damage. Key damage, however, I should make a dual note here in saying that, because key damage does apply to a person who's blocking, but only if you have Pierce Guard, because then the damage done by your Pierce Guard will apply key damage. Key damage is a portion of what your weapon would deal to their key bar. But it's all flat. It's not a percentile, it's flat based, which is why most of the stats that increase it by percentages are actually way less useful than you think. The only time the percentages are better are on things like the dual swords, where the multi-hit of the weapon is greater, or surpasses that, like, negative downside of it. It's one decent thing about them. What floor are you up to in the Abyss, man? Oh, so you haven't played that much of it then. What difficulty are you on? Oh yeah, true. I didn't... Sorry, I was sidetracked by trying to focus on the game. At the same time I was talking. Because that's what earth damage does. If you were wondering what any benefit of using earth damage was. Earth damage, when you have it on your weapon, or dealing earth damage with your weapon. Earth damage deals key damage proportionate to the amount of damage you deal with said earth damage. So it basically acts as if you hit them twice every single time you hit them with earth damage. Or if you put an Earth Talisman on your weapon, that same thing happens. It's really, really good if you want to knock an enemy out of key additionally. Instead of putting, like, lightning on your weapon, if you wanted to sacrifice damage for extra key damage, but you didn't have, you couldn't quite one-shot their key away, you could easily just use an Earth Talisman to do it. That's what old dual sword builds used to be based around, was using the Shishio swords and stuff like that, which are earth damage, which are swords that come with earth damage on them by default, and people used to use that in combination with the whirlwind skill, and you could basically reduce all of a boss's ki and still be attacking them at the same time. If they even kept all their ki by then. Sometimes most bosses would just die so fast to it that it didn't even matter. Psycho Magoichi again. Destroyed. I'm gonna try and get to 350 tonight. It shouldn't take me much longer. If I didn't leave the abyss like a fucking dumbass, it wouldn't have taken that long to begin with. Nioh takes a lot of... Oh, damn it. I was just about to say how Nioh takes a lot of time to get good at, and I just walked back down an elevator... not an elevator, a ladder shaft that I climbed. Takes so much Dane power to speak. It's not funny. I was trying to make a Rodney Dangerfield reference. Dane Bramage. gank nugget. What was he doing? He's just walking around. Beat him up. I hope to make it to 999 soon. Yeah, I'm a little bit slow to it as well. If I streamed Abyss Progress every day, I would have already been done with it like 3 weeks ago, but it's just not how I like to play. It's like I was saying to a friend earlier, I don't like to have to force myself to play. I have to want to play. Or else it just comes out like shit. Easy peasy. I normally try to go up enough in the Abyss that it levels up my next set of gear, but if you're... Wait, you said you're only at floor 40 or whatever? Alright, man. And say, if you ever want to play together sometime, just let me know. I mean, of course, when I'm not streaming. Well... still play it with my friend anyways. The harder parts is just the double bosses. Those are where it sort of helps to not summon. Because then it just adds another boss in. But for the normal fights, the double boss isn't that bad. Because you just have the person that you're helping go for the smaller boss, and then you go for the tougher one. And then once they get that one down, they just come over and you just rock the normal boss. How do you set a blob on fire? I mean, like, I understand the idea that fire is bad for water because it evaporates the water, but it's an entire slime. How does it catch on fire? It's just made out of water, unless it's gasoline, but they didn't have that kind of stuff. They had, like, animal fats and shit. They used those for, like, early lanterns. Like the one William is holding in one of the first cutscenes. When he enters the boat where the Onryoki is, he's shown holding an old lantern that would run on animal fats and stuff like that I was talking about. Yeah. Yeah, they pull it out in the last cutscene as well. If you haven't seen that one, then spoilers, but yeah. The final DLC, one of the last cutscenes is Hanzo pulling the cat back out. It's like they just had to do that, didn't they? You just couldn't resist. It's a Japanese video game. There's a cat in the video game. Gotta show the cat in the last cutscene, even if it makes very little sense relevant to what's going on in that situation. Who the fuck cares what time it is? You just survived a giant nine-tailed fox burning a building down, and the thing you give a fuck about is the time of day. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's why, like, one of my favorite episodes from the new season of Rick and Morty is the one that's called Rest and Relaxation, because it shows that idea that I'm talking about super perfectly, where it's like you go through a lot of stress, or you go insane trying to do something, and then it's all normal up until the point where you get back to your old life, and then it just all breaks down. Because that's how it is on, like, the start of that Rick and Morty episode. It starts out with them, like, oh, Morty, I need you to come on an adventure with me. It'll be, like, 20 minutes tops. And then it shows, like, 3 days later. And when they finally get the crystal or whatever Rick was after, they hop back into the little space vehicle that they have, and they sit in it, take one breath, and then, like, start crying and breaking down. It's really good. That's why I like that show so much. Not just for the Pickle Ricks, like most people. But still Pickle Ricks. There's Pickle Rick. And Tiny Rick. Pretty soon there'll be a Pocket Rick game. It won't be Pocket Morty's because there'll just be so many different Ricks. They already sort of have it set up for that in the show, so. What do you mean? What, did you die? Who are you trying to fight? Oh yeah, I was stuck on one of those the other day for a while. I wish I could say what he says in his opener. Something, like, I mean, he says, finally a true test of skill, but, like, I wish I could say, yeah, it in Japanese. Oh, wait, that's not a single sword. That's an axe. Knew you were gonna do that. Oh great, it's Shouting Guy. I wonder why this enemy only appears here. This must have been an enemy they developed in like an early concept of the game. It's one of the only enemies in the game I know of that shouts every single time it attacks, and it's only in this like one death arena that you do in the Ashita Mitsunari boss fight room. There's like a human enemy with an axe who screams every single time he attacks. Yeah. He's definitely not in any other parts of the game as far as I know. Well, I don't remember. I know that there's an axe guy there, but I don't remember him screaming like that every attack. I know who you're talking about, the one that's in the cave room. This is just a shittier version of Return of the Gourd. It's Obsidian Samurai and the Sword Master together. It's just a shitty version of Return of the Gourd. Because the Sword Master, he just stood there. He didn't even attack me once. I don't get why they put these guys in. At least this guy. Because this guy, his AI is like goofed up or something. He just keeps backpedaling and it's not benefiting him at all. Supposed to be a sword master and he looked like someone who had just started playing the game. Man, stop giving me these stupid kill waves of enemies things. Fucking. Well. Hope everyone's ready to be entertained by skilled gameplay. I'm totally not just going to use one skill to kill everything. Totally. Here we go. Here we go. I almost hit him 100k for my lumber, or not lumber chop, my titanic strength. Yuki Onna again? Oh, so much for her existence. Skilled gameplay. You're talking like the most skilled in the neighborhood. In the tri-state county. Whatever the fuck that means. Like I said, man, if you're having that much trouble, you can still summon me. I mean, later on again. I don't mind helping people, it's what I already do most of the time. Most of the time when I'm not streaming Nioh and you see me on it, it's me helping someone. I've done a lot of random encounters. No, you angry wheel. Wheel dick. Scared the Kodama. No! Just fucking deuced me, dude. You gotta be deucing bros like that. Easy. I totally didn't die. Totally. I shouldn't really call a boss easy unless you kill it without the boss popping your quick change. Also, something I didn't realize until recently, or I might have realized it before but only re-realized it now, is the quick change scrolls in Nioh are for reviving, but in Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel, the customization stations are actually called quick change stations. I just thought that was funny because I was like, wait, what? This isn't Nioh, because I was playing Borderlands 2 with a friend earlier who had just barely got it for the first time. And he got it for cheap on the PlayStation 4, so I was playing with him. I love playing that game through the first time. I haven't done any streams of it recently. I should... just, the last time I streamed it was before my computer had the first initial fuck up, where the cooling fan and battery fucked up. I haven't streamed it since then, and that was like 2.5 months ago. I should. It's just been such a long ass time. That and I don't like playing high-level Borderlands that much. Not Borderlands 2 anyways. Just isn't that fun to me. Fucking Maria. Like, you say all these other bosses are bad. I can't give a fuck about them. Maria's the one that I have the worst time with. She's so fucking annoying. The dumb Nioh mechanic of putting away your bow is slower than just dodging with your bow pulled out. And I still make that mistake to this day, because that's not a fucking intuitive thing at all. If you use your bow and try to shoot something and want to dodge, don't let go of left trigger until you've already pressed the dodge button. I just hate her because she doesn't fucking block, and it makes it so you can't punish her for doing anything. She's not using Living Weapon. She's using some fake Amrita jutsu bullshit. She doesn't use Living Weapon because her ki doesn't go down the same way. Living Weapon, you can't... Bosses that have Living Weapon can't regenerate their ki. Maria absolutely can regenerate her ki because she's not using ki. She's using some stupid pseudo bullshit that they designed specifically for her. And they have a reply sloth to you so you can't dash away even with Tiger Running Scroll or anything like that. It's just cheese me or die. There's no good legitimate way to beat Maria outside of just the bullshit tactics. Every single time I try to fight her legitimately, it just ends in me getting hit once and then losing the entire fight. Oh, look what happened. I got hit once, and now I'm gonna fucking die. Yeah, better tracking than me. Because it's a human female boss, so it's Japanese, gonna love it, obviously. Video games are so sexist. Females are always so daintily and so weak. They totally don't get to be the strongest arbitrarily bullshit bosses in any Japanese RPG. Totally not. That seems like it's just a thing that's guaranteed for these fucking games. I can't get a draw strike off no matter fucking what I do. She just doesn't stop attacking, and she doesn't use any fucking key to do it. That's the problem. When you take away the main mechanic in the game that allows you to fucking punish human enemies, and then expect you to be able to fight a human boss that has infinite super armor and doesn't block, it's so fucking bullshit. Do the... This fucking game. I swear. It's literally just fucking with me right now. Yeah, I'm feeling against a legitimately hard boss that has fucking bullshit dumbass mechanics. I hate having to fucking forcibly cheese bosses just to get past them, because they're so fucking poorly designed in the game that they exist in. Oh yeah, and then just that time she starts out by not going into her living weapon. She just randomly does a fucking draw strike right off the beginning. What the fuck am I playing right now? Auto grabbed me when I fell from my quick chain, so I couldn't do anything. I'm like 2 seconds away from just using a travel amulet and using fucking Daibawashi. Because I can't fucking stand her. It's not a good thing. I don't like that. I don't like having to cheese enemies. That's the whole point of my build. But the whole point of this fucking late game in this game is to cheese. Because doing anything else doesn't fucking work right. They didn't design the game fairly. She just keeps fucking moving around. You can't do anything. Of course. Yes, but it doesn't matter because she'll just track you with the follow-up anyways. If you dash behind her, she just turns around anyways. No, it doesn't. She'll just start another attack chain. She'll just double dash backwards and start another attack chain. That's what she does every time. Every single time. If I try to get behind her, that's all she does. She spins on a dime and just automatically tracks anything I try to do. You can watch my stream and see it. Instant attacks are so annoying. It's so dumb how that stupid fucking explosion has a hitbox on it. And that hitbox can slow you down, so you can't get away after you get hit once. It isn't even a fucking boss fight anymore. It's just you get hit once, the game. Why even survive? You can't do anything aggressive. So retarded. I hate this fucking boss so much. Oh my god! Come the fuck on, you can't do anything. I want to get one hit in. Just one hit. But it's fucking impossible. I would really, really love to see the fucking developer fight this. I would love to know what dumb, cheesy fucking bullshit. That wasn't the developer, that was the director. Yes, he does. But that's because he tells people what to do. He doesn't come up with it himself. Get hit once, you lose the game. So fucking inspiring. Look at it, she spammed backdash 6 times in a row. What am I supposed to do about that? You can't fucking punish her. What do you actually... I have to exhaust all of my ki just to try and keep up with her. Meanwhile, she uses none to do anything. She can do as many actions in a row as she wants, and it doesn't drain her ki bar at all. That's the fucking problem. It's just inherently garbage. It's so fucking garbage. It's so unbelievably annoying when you have a boss in a game like this that just breaks the boundaries of all the game mechanics that have been set in stone up until that point. This is just the most annoying fucking garbage ever. And it's just like Riken. Riken stuns every other human boss in the game. Does it stun Maria? Nope. She can just fucking attack right through it just like nothing fucking exists. She's apparently the toughest human enemy in the fucking game. Eventually she'll just get hit 3 times by Sign of the Cross without debuffing me and she'll die. Are you fucking joking me already with this horse shit? No fucking damage to her. She hits me once with the tiniest little nick of an attack. Of course, yeah, of course. That's just how this boss fight works. Look at my tracking compared to hers. She can just like literally just her feet slide on the fucking ground. But me, I just stand there attacking the literal air because they can't design the fucking game for the player fair enough. That's the only way they can make it difficult, is by taking away arbitrary game mechanics from you. This fight wouldn't even be as hard as it is if it didn't automatically apply sloth to you. That's the only reason it's fucking hard. Because once you get hit once, you can't recover at all. If I could recover for even 1 second and actually get away from her or dodge her in a meaningful direction where she just doesn't automatically autocorrect and track me, You know what, I'm fucking done. Fucking done with you. That's dumb. That is just retarded. It just doesn't matter how you try and voice that. I could hear 100 different reasonings from the developer, and that would still not make any sense to me. I don't even know if I'm going to make it to 350 tonight because of that. No, I'm at 344 right now. I'll probably stop at 345. Just because I need to end my stream soon. It's not even that. It's just... I always love showing off one of the many reasons why Team Ninja needs to take a fucking chill pill with balancing the fucking game. Like, fix problems that are already existing with your bullshit ass game. Like, I don't know, the complete unfairness of all endgame human boss fights. And how they somehow magically have all of this extra ki than you do. Even Tonfa Hanzo. That is where this all started for me. Was when you try to do Tonfa Hanzo, the dojo mission for the Tonfas, and Way of the Nioh, that shit's nearly impossible. Because he just has so much ki that you're not going to drain it normally. You're not going to be able to punish him because he'll just attack you through your shit. Because his doesn't matter. He hits you once and deals 2,000 damage. You hit him once and it deals a couple hundred because you're using a shitty wooden thing that doesn't scale with you well. I don't know. I don't care. There's easy cheese to beat half of the bosses in this game. I just don't like having to fucking do that. But then again, Maria is the one that you have to do it with. Other bosses, you don't have to. Because there are other ways to do it with just a weapon in your hand. You don't need to pull out something else to beat the boss. Or to have a mechanic actually work the way you expect it to. Like, I don't know, fucking stunning the enemy. Just because she has some glowy yellow sword bullshit. Like, it doesn't even make sense to me. That and the fact you never actually get to kill her at the end because they wanted to leave a cliffhanger in case they wanted to make a second game. He should hate the Spanish. The Spanish Armada is literally what fucking the start of the story explains is that England is fighting against. Which is part of the reason why Maria is in Japan. No, he doesn't. He doesn't kill any humans. Even just like on the mission where he's helping the people of the Mikawa clan and Honda clan, because like you help Honda on the defiled castle, and he's like, the people of Mikawa cannot, or Mikawa cannot possibly hope to like fight the yokai and everything like that, because they can't. Most people can't see spirits. Hanzo, one of the things that I always tell people is Hanzo doesn't even know his cat has a guardian spirit. That's not something he knows, because he can't see spirits. Which is why I say I don't know how he helps on the Demon King Revealed, because he can't see spirits. It's just like when you fight the white tiger. He must have just been standing there going, what is going on? Because he couldn't see the white tiger. He doesn't know that the Nikomata's there. And he doesn't know that the guardian spirit turned into the giant white tiger because he can't see them. It makes absolutely no fucking sense. Okatsu can't see spirits either. Like, she doesn't know she has the rabbit for a spirit. Nope, that is how it works. William is unique, and that is one of the things that made him unique, is that he can see spirits alongside people like Tokugawa, Ieyasu, and some people like that can see spirits. That's how William in the one cutscene is able to decipher that the Ieyasu that he was seeing was a fake Ieyasu. And he was like, this man has absolutely no power, because he didn't have a guardian spirit, and he didn't have the Aratama floating around him. Which Aratama are a sign of bad spirits that follow you for things that you might have done in your past that were bad. So in his case, that would be murdering his... well, not murdering. He thought that they were going to betray him, so he killed his wife and son. And then Okatsu is a made-up person. She didn't exist in real life. She's not... there was no daughter of Ieyasu named Okatsu that was a kunoichi ninja, like a female ninja. That was all made up fluff for the video game. I think you mean John D. John D was the alchemist, if I remember right. Oh, yeah, I guess. I didn't know. John D might be the made-up one. I mean, the whole story behind Edward Kelly being a clone and stuff like that is made up. Obviously, they just used the name from the real-life person as a reference. Different times. Well, it's just like William also wasn't an English sailor with an Irish Gaelic guardian spirit that speaks in Irish Gaelic, even though he is an Englishman. He's an Englishman with he's an English pirate with an Irish voice actor who has an Irish Gaelic speaking spirit, even though he doesn't speak Irish Gaelic at any point in the game. The only Irish Gaelic thing that William says in the entire game is Saoirse. And Saoirse is, I mean, it's her name, but Saoirse also means something in Irish Gaelic. I can't remember what it means. I think it's like love or something. Or like health or whatever. It's something like that. But yeah, but it's rice alcohol. Probably not what William wants. But I'm gonna end my stream here, everyone. Or I mean, I say everyone. I don't think. Yeah, there's two concurrent viewers right now, but I might be back tomorrow, but I don't know, because I'm probably going to send my computer out. Depending on if it is a part issue or not. But until next time, peace out, everyone.